Fire Emblem, engage!
Hello everyone. I am Flashing Fire, and you have joined me at the start of this Fire Emblem Engage Pacifist playthrough. In this run, we will attempt to complete the game on hard difficulty, while defeating as few enemies as possible. For our purposes, anytime a player or ally unit lowers an enemy's final HP bar to 0, that counts as a kill. This is the same condition that activates the Speed Taker skill on player phase. Our goal is to minimize the number of times this happens. A complete rule set is in the video description, but since the Prologue chapter is more or less on rails, I have some time to elaborate. Most of the extra rules that I have self-imposed are designed to make this run relatively easy to repeat. This is because I did a practice run of the entire game before going back to optimize and record footage. I'm not making use of any paid DLC, and many other restrictions exist to remove randomness between battles. But my use of the Ancient Well deserves a bit more explanation. The Ancient Well is a feature that has a small chance to produce significant rewards, such as class-changing items and movement staves. I will not be relying on any of those, but I will continuously use the 3-star well drops for a reliable source of extra skill points. Novice books drop 100% of the time, and other random rewards can be fed back into the well. Adept books drop 50% of the time, but I'll wait to explain how I handle those until it becomes relevant. And would you look at that? We've cleared the prologue with 1 kill. Please, hold your applause, we're just getting started.
I'll do my best.
Alright, we've started the game proper, but this is still a pretty tightly contained chapter. There aren't too many decisions we get to make here. The northernmost enemy will harass the green units up top for 3 turns, and then our protagonist, Alear, will be teleported into that section. In the meantime, the most productive thing we can do is to give Alear as much combat as possible. She'll be a major target for early game experience, whereas Vander gains virtually nothing from fighting these scrubs. If Alear had been hit last turn, we would use a vulnerary here to heal her. She can take 3 hits from full HP, but not 4. Alear defeats each of these enemies in 3 hits, and we have 3 turns to fight them. We are fine with getting kills here, because the map objective is to rout the enemy. Given that, we want to maximize the amount of experience Alear gains in the process. It is technically possible to lose here, if Alear gets hit by 9 straight attacks. That would outpace our ability to heal, but the odds of that are about 1 in 10,000. We're pretty safe. After a cutscene removes 1 enemy from the map for us, Alear gains access to Emblem Marth. She can use his stat buffs and skills to 1-round KO each of the 3 new enemies here, but we avoid doing so. This nets us 3 extra rounds of combat, and a bit more experience. Critical hits were actually disabled prior to this turn, but now they're allowed. We'd prefer not to land any early crits here and lose out on a small amount of EXP.
Our foes are strong.
Good job, Alear. As long as we don't get hit 3 times in a row here, we've got this in the bag. As a reminder, we are playing on fixed growths. This means that as long as we can manage experience well, we can have consistent expectations about the stats of our units. Alear did eat 2 out of 3 hits there, but it's all the same in the end. Chapter 1 is completed with 6 kills. Now, how about a map where we don't have to kill every enemy? Chapter 2 is where our challenge run starts to drastically diverge from a normal playthrough. We now have 2 enemies we wish to spare, and they're between us and Lumera. The obvious solution is to go around them, but they will pursue us if we don't leave a distraction within range.
I am your weapon.
Oh. Well, if you're the weapon vendor, then I guess you don't need this iron axe. This archer is our first example of random enemy movement and engage. If enemies don't have a single optimal square to attack from, they can choose from the available options at random. In this case, the archer could have attacked from the space 1 up and 1 right of Vander, rather than 2 spaces to the right. We want to use strategies that account for all possible enemy movements, if that's within our power. This means that Alear does not move between the dragon statues on turn 2. If she does, she can put herself in archer range and mess up our strategy. Lumera starts moving on turn 2 enemy phase, and we have successfully peeled her away from the archer and fighter.
I can still fight.
Now we want to maximize Alear's experience gain and reliability in combat. Newcomer Clan has a personal skill that boosts the hit rate of himself and Alear by 10 when they are adjacent. We can use this to give Alear 100% accuracy as she duels Lumera. Here I forgot that skipping the dialogue also skips the enemy phase. To summarize the last combat round, we evaded Lumera's attack and countered for 7 damage. Alear survives 2 hits here, so we can always attack again. Alear's HP could be as low as 4 by this point. Fram can step in to bring that back above 11 with her heal staff. It's not necessary here, so she just waits. Meanwhile, Vander could use a vulnerary to keep taking hits, but he can also just move out of range.
I am pitiful.
3 out of 3 dodges is lucky for Alear, but unlucky for Fram, who would appreciate leveling up by Chapter 4. At least she can still heal Vander. Alear can finish off Lumera right away, but she gets support points with Vander and Clan if they move next to her first. Not that it ends up mattering much. As we can see, both of those enemies disappear without ever going to 0 HP. They won't add to our kill count. Defeating Lumera moves us to phase 2 of this chapter. Everyone is healed, the board is reset, Lumera gains use of Emblem Sigurd, and there are now 5 enemies to avoid killing. We advance along the right side of the map, since Alear needs to refuel Mars' engage meter with the Emblem energy tile, and that side only has 1 generic fighter to contend with. Alear can only fight him once without killing him, so she unequips her weapon while she trades for Clan's vulnerary. We have to move up a bit further to draw Lumera out. She prioritizes attacking Vander for her first strike, and she can move 2 spaces after attacking, so Vander positions himself to not allow a retreat into the bushes. In the meantime, Alear sets up to get Chippy XP from the fighter. All else being equal, engaged enemies prefer to maximize their expected damage. Accuracy plays a part in this. Alear with the Iron Sword has 5 defense and 18 avoid, while Clan has 4 defense and 20 avoid. This would normally make Clan the preferred target, but he takes 1 less damage while adjacent to Alear, thanks to her personal skill. That means they effectively tie at 5 defense, so Clan's higher avoid directs the fighter to attack Alear.
Queen Lumera.
Vander, attack.
There are a lot of places Lumera can end up in after attacking Vander. This one is among the most convenient, but we can handle any of her choices. Alear deals 18 damage to Lumera with a Lodestar Rush, so Vander and Clan have to weaken her into that range. Vander's attack actually does this on its own, and so does Clan's, if he receives the 3 damage boost from being next to Alear. If Vander had missed and needed to attack again, that's fine. Characters cannot permanently die on this map, so losing Alear is our only failure condition.
Onward.
As it stands, the win is easy from here.
I'll do my best. You've won.
That's Chapter 2 with 2 kills. Join me next time for a surprisingly tricky Chapter 3. Take care, everyone. Oh.